Talent House Gallery. A very warm welcome to all of you. I'm so excited. Outside In has gone national. People from all over the country have submitted their works. Scotland, Wales, England, and even from the United States, places like that. So it's extraordinary. It's a great milestone, I think, for the project. This project absolutely couldn't have happened without the support of many, many people and many institutions, without a doubt. And I really want to mention first the Paul Hemming Foundation and its manager for this part of their work, Régis Rochefer. I mean, without them, there wouldn't have been any Outside In national. And it's the same with the Arts Council England. There are so many partner organizations. I said to Mark, please list them. He said there are too many. You can't mention them all, but I really, really thank them for their support. And of course, there's the Outside In team itself. Jennifer Gilbert, Lucy Greenfield, Susan Potter, the Outside In Advisory Group, our patrons, and all the volunteers, and all the other staff, and you're all here, and you all know what I'm talking about. At Talent House Gallery, the people who have been so committed to this project, and really supported it so full-heartedly. I think I have to thank the judges who are sitting here, Roger Cardinal, Bobby Baker, and also the selectors. Where's Rose? Rose is somewhere here. Yes, Rose, thank you so much. And Tony here on the corner, thank you so much for your hard work. I mean, 2,300 submissions. I mean, that's an enormous number of works to go through. So, thank you so much. But finally, I really want to thank the artists, because, let's be honest, without the artists' trust, your trust, and your talent, we would not be here. It's very simple. Mark is going to give you marks, actually. Sorry. He didn't put his own name on this text. Of course, he's the creative brain and the man who has made it all possible over many years. And he's going to say a little bit about it. But, I mean, actually, he deserves a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you ever so much all for coming. And I just wanted to say on this occasion that this is Stefan's last private view, well, tomorrow night as well. And I've worked at the gallery for 12 years, and Stefan's been here 15 years. And without Stefan's support and vision as well, none of this would happen. So if it's possible, if you don't mind giving another round of applause. It's been a privilege and honour to have known and worked and been in touch in some level with all of you, some way or another. Outside In is an important and vital piece of work. It's trying to create a fairer and more equitable art world where all who create have the opportunity to have the work seen and valued. It's about placing the work in a context and a setting that allows people to see the true worth of the artists who are engaged with us. I think this exhibition this year is absolutely stunning. It's beautiful, it's deeply moving. We've tried to curate it thematically to try and give some insight into the different ways and means of working that the artists have evolved and used. And I'm sure as you walk around, you'll be stunned and amazed by both the works and the comments in the exhibition. We can't all be charismatic, confident, and self-publicising people, and the art world expects that. We can't be Tracy Emin or Damien Hirst, necessarily. But what is true is that not having these skills does not make you a lesser artist. It's just one that requires understanding and a safe space to have your work seen and valued in order to have an equal and fair opportunity. And I hope, and with best intentions, that Outside In is providing that. Thank you to the judges, as Stefan said, Tony Heaton, the Chief Executive of the State, Bobby Baker, the wonderful performance artist, Roger Cardinal and Stefan. They've been involved and they've judged and selected this process, the exhibition for this year. I'm now going to pass over to Tony, who's going to say a few words about the selection process.
Thanks. Yeah, wasn't it? Wow, thank God we're not Tracy Emin and David Hearn. Really, don't you feel great knowing you're not those two artists? You know, I don't want David to sue me, but I looked to be show at Tate Modern recently and went out without feeling any emotion whatsoever. And I went into that room, and within 5 minutes I felt charged with emotion and incredibly privileged to be part of the selecting of the works. Fantastic. I just wanted to say a little bit about the selection process because Stefan said it really quickly. 2,300 works. Okay, you know, spend a minute thinking about that. 2,300 plus works to look at, and then start to think about how much time, if you gave everyone 5 minutes, how does that work out? So for a judge, the logistics of it were really difficult. And I quickly looked through and I thought, I'm going to have to come up with a plan to judge this work. So I figured out that if I went to the office every morning an hour before anybody else got in, and I did that every day, I would have the peace and quiet of the office and the computer and just go through all these works of art. And I spent a lot of the time on the phone to Jennifer, who I know is in the room somewhere, who never got frustrated with my ridiculous phone calls about how do I click onto things or how do I find my way back to things. Because again, you've got to start to evaluate the work as well. And I think first you just look through it and think, wow, this is amazing. You know, you don't think about judging it in any sort of way. So it's fantastic to see the real work on the walls. It's really exciting to move from a computer screen to a real object or a real painting or a real drawing. And it's been a fantastic privilege to be part of the selectors of this fantastic exhibition. And I just want to say Pallant House have done an amazing and revolutionary thing really to pull this work together and to show it. And a lot of the London art world operate like sheep, flocking to see things that other people tell them how great it is. I think one of the fantastic things we can do in this exhibition is be moved by our hearts and what we see and the way that work touches us inside, and be drawn by our own intellects and our own emotions to this work, and not be told what we should like and what we shouldn't like. And I'll probably shut up now. Thank you.
I'm just going to, obviously Stefan's already said thank you to Roger Cardinal, who wrote the seminal book on outsider art. There's Bobby Baker, the wonderful performance artist here, and they're going to say a few words about the judging and how they found judging the works for this year's competition.
Well, we hear a lot about the world of art, and we are learning, as it were, to sneer a bit about it because we know better. We are beginning to see that art is not just for the privileged few, those that have parents that put them into the right kindergarten or encourage them to use crayons and so on the dining room table. But art is for everybody. Art is there. Art is where you get to, having started from somewhere. It doesn't really matter where you started from. And a privileged background is no reason why you shouldn't become a major artist. Even a bank manager could in his spare time become an amateur artist and perhaps even a ratified, respected artist. We have a number of interesting case histories of people that have had enormous traumatic experiences in their life and have become artists as a result, or seemingly so, as if being battered about, being in a grave accident, being in a catastrophe, fits you out to become somebody who can actually draw upon such experience and transform it into something wonderful. Well, it does work, but a lot of people also don't manage to get very far or don't make use of what their natural talent is. I think that what this exhibition has taught us is that fantastic results can emerge from the most unlikely of sources. We learn, as it were, that individuals have that one precious thing that nobody else has. They are themselves. They know themselves. They feel themselves. They are the brain that regulates the hand, that responds to the emotion and to the physical need, really, to make something. Art, of course, exists in attenuated form throughout our daily lives. We are always making sure we don't put our foot on a dog's tail. We're always busy not doing things because it's more elegant, as it were, to keep moving when somebody walks towards you in the street. And if you can manage that wonderful task, the poetic movement round the other person, rather than just kind of stumbling and bumping into them and having to apologise and so on. There's a ballet possibility, as it were, in your everyday life. There's an art possibility in your everyday life, because everybody can make a mark, almost everybody, and if not, then they can find another reason how to express and externalise a particular feeling that they have. Art is the result of a particular stimulus, a particular desire, and a particular compulsion in certain cases. Art comes as the result of a process, and that process has often been seen as learnable. Well, of course, you can teach how to hold a pen. If you don't know how, you might appreciate being shown how to do it, and it does work a bit better if you don't hold it like that, and you hold it like that, so to speak. There are ways in which you can train people to become competent expressors of what it is they want to say. But you can't really train them to have things to say. You can't train them to be eloquent about those things which they hold most dear. People have to be allowed to find their own voice, their own way of expressing themselves, and their own intentionality comes through eventually, provided they're not bossed about or curbed in some way, or given to understand that they're not really appropriate material for the art world. Well, the art world can go hang, really. And we are showing through this operation, the outside-in operation, that which lies outside the sphere of art is actually as creative, if not more so, than that which lies within the ratified and well-patrolled territory. The outsider art concept thrives upon Jean Dubuffet's idea that culture is there to be shared by everybody and to be invented by everybody, not just to be imposed upon the world by a privileged few. Art, equally, is the means and the result of a process of learning which cannot be taught. It's a self-taught genre, a self-taught activity. And art, I think, above all the so-called trainable arts, as it were, ballet, music, and so forth, art making in the sphere of painting and sculpture and drawing is essentially available to everybody, because the means to make marks and to make a picture are pretty much within everybody's reach. But it's the incentive to get on with something that matters. What this work also teaches us is that some people just can't stop. And the 2,300 is a mere drop in the ocean to the art making that's really going on. Indeed, many people in this room have a secret desire to be an artist, or to show that they can make pictures of value. What the exhibition and the enterprise of Outside In is really aiming for is to produce a worldwide revolution in which everybody suddenly overnight becomes capable of expressing their true individuality. And therefore there is this political and emotional and social concept, really, of art as a form of activity that brings you fully to understand yourself and to feel confident about yourself, to know yourself. And I think that's one of the great lessons of art making generally, but most particularly in this context, where individuals have put their head above the parapet, as it were, and taken upon themselves to become artists, where many people would say, don't bother, you're no good, doesn't, this isn't worth doing. It's well worth doing, and if anybody that's tried to make a picture and failed should reflect upon this whole process. You can't really fail to make a picture if you've made it that way, or if it's made itself that way for lack of your attention to it. If you look more carefully at the exhibition, you'll see that nearly every picture has been made over a period of time. Many of these pictures are layered pictures. They're palimpsests with early, later, middle and late stages, which become to be now finally the one that the artist is prepared to release, as it were. So art can take a long time, so you need to bear that in mind. But from that position to say that art is that the artwork here is skimpy, amateurish, untrained, and therefore valueless is just a wrong response. These are expressions of individuals. These are pledges of intentionality, of intention to the world. And they are claims upon our time and our own attention, because they're appealing to us, I think, if we look carefully at the pictures in the exhibition, to realise our own creativity. And that's the real message of Outside In. Thank you.
I'm Bobby Baker, and I'm one of the judges. And I'd just like to say I've never judged anything in my life before, and I feel very privileged and thrilled to have been part of this, and completely bowled over by the work next door. I can only say it was extremely hard to do for all of us. I've made a lot of paintings over the years of my experience of being severely mentally ill in the past, and I found the process of making paintings quite extraordinary personally, but I've also seen an awful lot of work that I'm very passionate about by friends and people I know. And so to see a collection of work as remarkable as this, so beautifully curated, so beautifully hung, so considered in the way it's presented, is quite amazing to witness it. I feel I'm so lucky to see this as part of my life, that what Pelham House and Outside In have done. So it was very, very difficult choosing the award winners, and everybody is, I think, in the sense that they're part of this groundbreaking show. So thank you very much, and thank you, Mark, and everyone here.
Now, 6 award winners, and those 6 award winners are invited to have a solo exhibition here at Pennant House Gallery in the studio over the next 2 years, 2013, 2014. I think it offers a great opportunity to those award winners. I will start with the ones we think are not here, couldn't come here. But I think they deserve an applause anyway, don't they? So, the winners who are not here are Kate Bradbury, Nigel Kingsley, and Michelle Roberts. Now we are right to think that the next 3 are here. And the first one I will mention is congratulations, fantastic. It's a little bit like the Oscars, isn't it? So, a big thank you all for coming here. But please stay, go and have a look at the the exhibition, stay for a drink, and also stay to hear one of the Outside In winners of 2009, artist Quay Eden, and her band, so that's why we're standing among all this, Eden Blacklist.